Hello. Thanks for joining us again on the channel. I've always been curious about this one, and now that a friend picked one up, we can finally talk about it. His experience, start to finish. Quick note before we begin. There's a discount link in the description and the top comment if you want to check it out. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details.
Let's start by delving into the insights shared by our first reviewer.
This reviewer, along with his wife, decided to get back into cycling for weekend leisure after nearly 2 decades away from the hobby. He quickly realized that his stamina on a traditional bicycle was limited, which prompted him to explore the world of electric bikes. After several weeks of extensive research, which our reviewer found a bit overwhelming, he settled on this particular commuter electric bike. As a taller and heavier individual, finding a model that seemed like a good fit without being overly expensive was a top priority, and this one appeared to meet his needs. The initial experience, however, was a bit rocky. The package arrived in rough shape, suggesting it had been mishandled during shipping. Upon unboxing it, he discovered several small plastic components were broken, including the display mount and a switch housing. While assembly was otherwise straightforward, this was a definite letdown. After the company sent replacement parts for those first issues, another problem surfaced. The battery wouldn't lock securely into its compartment due to a chipped piece on its latching mechanism. Despite these frustrations, our reviewer notes that the company's support was helpful, ultimately sending out a completely new battery to resolve the final issue. He acknowledges that the wait for parts, which took a couple of weeks, would be very difficult for someone relying on the bike for a daily commute, but for his casual recreational rides, it was a manageable inconvenience. Once everything was fixed, the bike's performance truly shined. He was amazed by its power, which easily conquered hills that used to exhaust him. He now loves the fun factor and highly recommends this e-bike, especially for someone starting out.
All right, let's find out what our next reviewer has to share.
This reviewer notes that after a short time with this e-bike, their initial impressions are largely positive, though not without a few quirks. While the overall experience is described as super fun, with a sturdy build and a relatively easy assembly process, there were some minor issues that required a bit of user ingenuity to overcome. One of the first problems our reviewer encountered was with the seat clamp, which struggled to hold its position firmly, leading them to purchase a replacement part to solve the issue. Beyond this physical hiccup, the user guide proved to be less than helpful for certain functions. For example, figuring out how to reset the trip counter was a matter of trial and error, involving a specific sequence of button presses that wasn't clearly outlined in the manual. Similarly, there was a learning curve when it came to mastering the interplay between the pedal assist and the throttle. This client discovered that engaging the pedal assist from a complete stop resulted in a surprisingly forceful and abrupt acceleration. They quickly found a workaround by either using the throttle gently to get the bicycle moving first, or by waiting to activate the pedal assist until they were already cruising and needed the extra boost for a hill or higher speeds. Once these small adjustments were made, the performance of this commuter electric bike was impressive. For a rider of 180 pounds, it easily reached speeds of 25 miles per hour on flat terrain. On steep inclines, it still required some light pedaling, but it capably maintained a speed of around 11 miles per hour with very little effort. The battery life also seemed promising. After a 12-mile ride that included a significant 1,000-foot elevation gain and heavy reliance on the motor, the battery was only depleted by about half, suggesting a solid range for daily use.
Great! Now let's see what our next reviewer has to say about their experience.
This reviewer recently shared a rather mixed experience concerning the purchase of a new electric bike. From the outset, the delivery process itself presented a few hurdles, with the carrier reportedly altering the estimated arrival time no less than 4 separate occasions. Upon finally receiving the package and beginning the assembly of this electric bike, they discovered several damaged components. It seemed evident that the heavy package might have endured some rough handling during transit, perhaps dropped or had other weighty items stacked on it. Addressing these issues led to interactions with the support team for this electric bike. Our reviewer noted that the representatives were polite and courteous in both phone calls and emails. However, getting replacements for the damaged parts proved to be a surprisingly arduous task. They described having to navigate so many hoops just to secure a replacement for a single component. When they followed up about the remaining damaged parts, the company made an unusual request: a video of the damage while the electric bike was actively being pedaled, despite previous photos and videos already being submitted. After 3 weeks of persistent back-and-forth communication, this client reached a point of frustration and decided against sending further videos. Ultimately, they've taken on the task of repairing the bike themselves. A salient point for this client was the stark contrast with a comparable electric bike purchased for their spouse from a different vendor just a day prior. That other bike arrived a week earlier, completely problem-free. Despite the significant initial headaches, once the necessary repairs were made, this reviewer expressed genuine fondness for their electric bike. The overarching sentiment, however, was one of disappointment regarding the extensive hassle encountered for what was a considerable investment.
And that's it. If this video helped, hit like and subscribe for more. Let me know what you think down below. Thanks for watching.